Hey, everybody, I'm the Ranting Monkey, and welcome to another edition of Monkey Talks. This is where I ditch Scribe and SDA and bring somebody else on. That's not true. They have other things they're doing, and I'm lonely, so I bring other people on. And today it's No Bullshit. Say hi, No Bullshit.
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, a pleasure. Real quick, before we go further, how do I address you?
No bullshit, no BS, whatever you like. Yeah,
Okay, I'll probably go with No BS just because it's shorter and quicker.
yeah.
But yeah, we normally do, or we used to do shows 7 nights a week. And as much as I love hanging out with Scribe and SDA, our Sundays off have given me a chance to talk to other people.
That's
Me and
cool.
No Bullshit worked together, God, a long time ago. We're getting close to a year.
Months ago. I mean, maybe 6 months ago even. I'm not sure. It was a while back. We did that video with like Riley's girlfriend. I don't know if they're still together or whatever. It was.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was the first. I think that was our first video. Maybe we did another one, or I think we put that on both our channels actually.
We did, yeah, uploaded at the same time. But I wanted to talk to you because I really have been a fan of your work, and we've been trying to work together again, God, off and on since then. And it's nice to have the chance.
Yeah.
So how are
Appreciate it.
things going with you?
Great. Just working, doing the videos, still doing about 4 or 5 a week, the usual, and just it's been good. It's been grinding and a lot of growth since the summer. It's exciting, pretty good time. Lots of cool topics lately. You know, we've been talking about similar political stuff. Richard Spencer's speech was a big thing that happened last week. Halloween costumes have been coming up. Yeah. The Richard Spencer thing was pretty crazy, and that was at my alma mater. I went to that college originally, so it was kind of funny to see all this happening there.
I just can't believe they called a state of emergency over that.
I know.
I don't know how you feel about Spencer personally. I kind of think he's a douche.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get much into his talking points or his stances. I'm not like a pro Spencer guy. I did one video on it, and it was basically talking about the state of emergency and just the backlash and the craziness. And I actually heard a lot of it too, through Facebook and like through friends of friends and stuff like that, just like posting about it and like people talking about going to get tickets and they're going to throw away their tickets. And there were like whole campaigns about trying to get tickets. And then there's certain bars in Gainesville that were giving free beers for tickets just to like get them off the market. It was pretty crazy.
Whether I like somebody or not, whether I like what they're saying or not, I just don't understand the deplatforming thing.
Yeah.
I have never been afraid of words ever, and I don't understand. It was beat into my head as a child, sticks and stones.
Mm-hmm.
And to see the governor of Florida come out and we got to get that's fucking snipers there.
Oh, there's like helicopters and SWATs and just like everything. I mean, I'm glad they had people, and it's good to have security. And if you do hear things, I mean, there's not much else they could do, but it did get a little over the top. I think the biggest problem really was the threats of violence and the people saying, "Oh, we're going to show up." Antifa says they're going to go out and do this, and they're going to bash windows, and people are saying they're going to not go to school that day, protesting. Like a lot of those, that side was kind of where it all started, and that's kind of the most ridiculous part.
And yeah, and I understand them wanting security for that. I really do. Frankly, if they had more security at Berkeley, we wouldn't have the problems we've had there. But they just went so over the top. And in doing so, they just promoted Spencer. If you don't want this guy to be, well known, maybe don't make such a big fucking deal out of him talking.
Yeah, they made it a bigger deal. People might not have heard about it. I mean, I guess since it is Spencer and this had happened to him a couple times before, I think there was at least 2 other colleges that just stopped his planned visits. So there was like already hype leading up to it. But in general, overall, if they're giving him more attention than he would have had before, probably.
Sure, yeah. I mean, he would have had his normal supporters out there, maybe a few curious people, but otherwise nobody would have gave a damn. How do you come up with your topics? Because you do a lot of videos.
Good question. I mean, I'm always looking out. Sometimes I'll come across them randomly throughout the week. I'll come up with an idea, but usually it starts with trying to find a video that I want to review, or something to respond to. I mean, at its core, I'm like more, I don't want to say I'm a reaction channel, but it's kind of like a review or a commentary. So I find something to respond to in the news, think of a good title. If I can get a title going that I think people will look for, that were looking for something about Spencer last week, or I also did a video about Halloween costumes, things like that. I could get into the current events. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say too. It's a hard thing to explain.
Now, when you do, because we all have the problem of not being able to find enough videos to respond to. Anybody who does this, do you prefer responding to a video or an article?
I prefer video. I mean, a lot of my original videos were just responding to other videos on YouTube, almost like a general, just like a YouTube thing, like this, respond to this YouTuber, respond to this YouTuber, break them down sometimes, usually just attacking the video and the points. But other times you can kind of like talk about their channel and stuff. But yeah, I would say in general, it's better to have a video. I also like to have the for the flow, to mix things up and have some other audio instead of just talking the whole time. I mean, I do videos like that too, rarely, but usually I'll have to throw something else in there.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I blatantly stole from No Bullshit. He freeze frames and puts his icon up there, and I was like, I need to do that, and so I started doing it. That is absolutely stolen from you, and I appreciate it.
Dude, you BuzzFeeded me.
I did.
You BuzzFeeded me. No, I'm hardly the first person to come up with that, but yeah, that I do enjoy that style, and I didn't say, but I like your videos too. I've always watched your stuff, even before we met. At some point, I think that's how I wanted to get in touch with you. Like, I mean, most of the people I get in touch with or do videos with, I watched them before.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I had seen your stuff, and I don't know about you, but as somebody who, as a creator, I just watch so many things now that everything, it's overwhelming at this point. But there's certain people
mixed up sometimes. Yeah, I do too.
There's certain people I go out of my way to watch, and you're definitely one of them. Speaking of people I go out of my way to watch, let's do this real fast.
Sure.
You've started to upset some people in the community.
Here we go.
Yeah, and yeah, guys, we did discuss this before we started. I don't understand it. I really don't. I haven't seen anything that you've done that I would see horribly objectionable. And I, as I told you beforehand, I think it stems from Twitter, and I was wondering your opinion on that.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think I didn't get into any of this trouble until I started messing around on Twitter, and there are just days. I mean, I take it seriously sometimes, like I'm using it for the website and for the show, but I mean, there's some times I'll just go off and I'll be talking shit, saying dumb things, making fun of people, definitely crossing lines. I mean, as far as that specifically, yeah, I would say that's a lot of the reason I'll get backlash on there, is just from going all out and kind of, I don't know, I just feel like Twitter, some people don't use it right. They like take it too seriously, and they're like, I don't know, I go back, like, dude, I used to be on like AOL message boards, and like I used to be on forums for like video games long time ago, and it would be like, 4chan kind of stuff, like really just anything goes, anything you could think of or say is going to pop up on there. And I don't know, I think there's been some change in that. Maybe I'm just not accustomed to the new Twitter culture, because I'm not really a Twitter guy. I'm not I'm not like big on Twitter myself. I check it once in a while now for the show, but honestly, up until this summer, I've had the show for longer. I've had the show for like a year and a half, this channel, and I wasn't on Twitter for like the first year.
I enjoy Twitter. I do. I was a late adopter because I hate the 140 character limit. I really do. But I have fun there, and as long as you treat it as fun, I think it's a great thing. I'm an old school internet guy too. Used to Yahoo chat rooms way back in the day.
Oh yeah.
And it was shit posting before it was called shit posting. I do see so many people just take it way too seriously.
And I think it gets confusing. I mean, I'll admit, you know, if you're like, okay, are we joking? Are we serious? How far is this going? Then someone starts taking offense. It's like a weird kind of line sometimes, especially when you bump up against people that are kind of like serious on there. And I don't know, depending if they're like a news guy or like something else you might not know about, but it's like hard to tell. Like if you're fucking around one day and you're calling someone dirty vagina face, and then the next thing you're like, I would like to talk to you about the fine points of Trump's new memo deal.
Oh yeah. No, for me, it's a way to keep in touch with people, and it's a way to just have fun.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody, and I wish I could remember who it was. We were talking about you, and they said they loved you because you go to Twitter, you drop bombs, and then you just disappear.
Yeah.
And when they said that, I was like, yes, he does.
Yeah, I think that comes from the stuff we were talking about. I mean, like I said, I'll come on and say pretty much there's a lot of times I will not hold back. There's definitely been some tweets I've deleted, and I'm just like, I don't want to mess with the drama because of this.
Gotcha.
But 9 out of 10, I'll probably just put it up and be like, fuck it. And then the going away part is, it's not even really a running away. It's like I said before, I'm not that big on it. So sometimes I'll just disappear because I'm just like doing other stuff. Or I'll just like, I won't look at Twitter every day. Like I'll go away from it for the weekend or something like that.
I've had issues like my recent run-in with the alt-right. Oh dear God. I enjoy just taunting those guys because they are so fanatical. And yeah, I've definitely, you know, said a couple of things and then just went away for a few hours to come back to see how mad they were. It's childish, I admit it, but it's funny to me, and you can get that worked up over Twitter, guys.
Well, childish. I mean, can you really? Twitter is childish. Its icon is a bird, and it's used by like 8th graders and high schoolers. Like those are the people that are like usually on Twitter. At least like in my real world life, like in people I know, it's like my little cousins are on Twitter. And then and then it's like, okay, then you get on there and, you know, obviously we run into each other, and I used it for communication a lot too. I actually had a Twitter the whole time, like ever since I started my channel, but I would mostly just use it for messages, and I like hardly tweeted anything for a long while. But yeah, so you use it for messages and then just talking shit. It's like, I don't know why you would want to take it seriously, but you did remind me of another thing I think that might get me in trouble on there. This also gets me into trouble pretty much everywhere in life. But I've been told, especially by my mother, that I'm just like an argumentative guy. Like, I'll get into it and just like they call me a lawyer. Like my parents will say I'm like a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, far from like an actual lawyer. But like as far as my arguing skills, it's just like I'll just get into it and I'll be able to always win. And I would always beat my parents at arguments, like before high school, I was beating my parents out, and they just like knew I was always like that. And that kind of translates on Twitter well sometimes. Like you were talking about talking shit to people or like debating them or arguing. Like you can really get into it with some of these people, and when you start to beat them, because I usually do win. I'm not gonna lie to you. I usually do win these arguments. So it's like that gets people mad at you. They never admit that you're right or you like have a fair point. It's just they get mad at you.
Oh, I was arguing with one of the guys, those alt-righters the other day, and it was just oh, sorry, I missed super chats here. Guys, we'll catch those up in a few minutes. But I was just trying to get him to answer a simple question, and I kind of let him know where I was going with it. Told him flat out, I'm setting you up. Here's the question, and refused to answer. And I had so much fun with that. But it's childish, and that's what I like about it. And I love to argue. It's one of the reasons I make the videos I do. It's a form of argument.
Totally. And Twitter is like super set up for that with the replies and everything. It's just like basically an arguing platform.
Yeah. But some people if you start arguing, get mad and like, ugh, that's what it's for.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to say about that. Like I think that's why a lot of, you know, SJWs and former feminists and stuff will get mad at people on Twitter or just on YouTube. It's like they're wrong and they're not going to admit they're wrong. They're just going to get mad at you for being right.
What's your favorite topic to make videos about? Do you have one?
No, I don't think I have one. I like that's hard to say. I think it's more like when you find a juicy video, it could be different topics, but it's like if you find a good one to reply to, if it's just like I don't know, golden. That's hard. That's a good question though. I mean, I like talking about the politics a lot in the politics. I like talking about the politics a lot, like the adults do. You know, adults like talking about politics and taxes. But I also like covering movies and TV shows. Sometimes I try to slip those in there. It's not necessarily my forte or my bread and butter on my channel, but I try to do that too. And those are some of my favorites, like some of my movie videos. And I've been into doing stuff on South Park recently.
Yeah, I've been watching your South Park series. Good stuff there.
Thanks.
And I'm glad to see that they've changed South Park back a little bit. I know everybody loved last year so much. I didn't get into it. And
yeah,
I like the more episodic ones.
Yeah, for sure. This season has definitely brought it back. And last season was it was kind of divisive. It was, it had a good story and it went over the whole season, but it was kind of hit or miss with some people. I liked it, but like I've said in my videos, I like everything South Park, so it's hard for me to really take my word for some of that.
Well, for me, what always made South Park so good was their ability to respond instantly to anything. And with a season-long arc, they have to almost force it in, and it just didn't play as well as some of the others that that I love South Park. I really do.
So good.
There was something else I was going to ask, and I got distracted because.
Well, I was going to say about South Park because I was thinking of another thing. One of my favorite parts. I do like how they're topical too, and they make them like week to week, like you're saying. But what's funny is it almost like contradicts that. But what's funny is they're also they predict stuff so well. Like it seems like they predict everything that's going to happen. Not like Nostradamus fully, but a lot of the things they call out, it seems like they're so early, like you don't even know that it's a thing yet. And then if I watched some of the older seasons recently, like kind of like getting ready for the new stuff, and I was like, damn, this stuff is still relevant. This is like a 10-year-old episode, and it's still like super relevant. It's actually like more relevant sometimes. Like, yeah, go ahead.
I got into an argument the other day with Edgy Sphinx, whatever the fuck his new name is. And he accused me of just getting into politics after Gamergate. Like, bitch, I'm 42 years old. You'll notice, I'm not sure how old you are, but at my age, you notice this stuff comes back around and around and around. And that one of the beauties of South Park is not just that they've been able to call this stuff out. They've just noticed it and paid attention to it where nobody else does. No TV show does.
Yeah, they're just so on. They have like a real good dial on the pulse too. Like they know what's going on in the world, in our country, what people are thinking, different ages groups too. Like they'll know what kids are playing, and they have like their PewDiePie episode that one time, and then they have episodes with the adults, and they're watching these home makeover shows. They get like everything on every level, like very, very good view of just things going on in America.
And the part that kills me is how many people watch this show and don't realize that they themselves are being made fun of. There are so many SJWs I know who love this show, and I'm like, do you actually pay attention to what's going on there? It's great if you have a sense of humor about yourself, but it's like they don't even get it. When I asked you, your favorite video type to make, I love anything that's just flat out SJW. If you're giving me feminism or Black Lives Matter, I love those ones because they're so easy to do. I know a lot of people.
Yeah, those are great. Those are good.
I like doing other stuff and venturing out. I've actually been enjoying making the article responses more than I used to, but for me, yeah, just give me a good SJW saying something stupid and let me have fun with that. Like whacking a pinata.
Seriously,
Um,
like a little arcade game.
yeah. Then let me get my super chat caught up real quick. Thank you, Terry Diamandis. Says skip this bullshit with a tongue out smiley face. And then David Chan Ho wants to know if we can get an autistic screech from you.
From me?
From you, yeah.
Oh, like a
There you
reed
go.
or
Yep.
okay.
There you go. There's your new ringtone, bud. Um, so, okay, what do you think has been the secret to your success? And I want to know so I can copy you.
Dude, you make it sound like I really made it here today. I feel like I'm
Dude,
on inside the actor studio or
oh,
something.
wait till the audience gets to ask questions. Um,
Okay.
you have grown in a way that nobody really has since maybe Bearing jumped on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's not there was a time when it was pretty common, but you've been the only one I've noticed who didn't get like a shout out on, say, because like Roaming Millennial had a big jump, but she was featured on Phil DeFranco's show.
Yeah.
When you're featured in front of 5 million people and you're a pretty young lady, yeah, that's going to happen. That's not to take anything away from her. I'm a fan of her stuff, so I'm not insulting her, but there's something you can point to and go, this really helped. Um, I don't see that you've gotten help. So you've done this by yourself. What do you attribute it to?
I'm just pick myself up by the bootstraps kind of guy. Uh, no, really. Really, I know what you're saying. I think there is like two different kinds of ways to get noticed on YouTube that we're talking about here. There's the one way where you get shout outs or you collab your way up the ladder and you kind of bank off of like other people. There's no shame in that at all either. I'm not saying that, but I'm
Oh
definitely
no.
not that guy. Like I've always been kind of doing my own thing. I've done collabs. I've done a few videos. A couple of losers though. One of them was like a monkey. I think his avatar was.
You ass.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah, no. I don't know. I think a lot. It's hard to explain. I think things just clicked really well this summer. I got really a lot of my subscribers like just shot up really hard like at the end of the summer, and there was like a month there where I went all the way up to like 200. So before that it was kind of like a slow pace, and they kept coming in, and I was basically doing my thing and trying to refine my style and come up with more titles and also just make more videos. I was making kind of like once a week for a long time, like once a week videos. But I find you can't really get away with that. You can't really shoot up with that. That's why I went to like 5 days a week and not every day. I never did like every single day like crazy, but 5 a week if I can. Sometimes a little less, but yeah, once I started doing that, I was doing them steady, and then I was also just started like lighting up on certain titles. I think it just kind of all clicked, and it was like I didn't really change a lot of besides what I said about the frequency a little bit. Like I was kind of still doing the same videos. It was just I think it finally people started to see them maybe, or it just popped up, and then it was the right time.
Yeah, and I have a theory about it because I've watched your Social Blade, and there's days I've wanted to kill myself because you've gotten more subs in 2 days than I have. It's like, God damn it. Um, there was a time right after the election where a whole bunch of people who make skeptic, quote unquote, skeptic content, who all were saying, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. We've won. And I am a fan of sticking to what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And your content, while you have like your South Park videos and stuff, for the most part, you're still covering the same stuff.
Sure.
And there's been a lack of content for people to watch in that genre.
I can see
I,
that.
I know so many people are, I'm just so bored and tired with that. And that's fine. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But I don't understand that if you're going for growth, I would say, stick to what got you there. And it's obviously been working for you.
Yeah, I think there was a lot to do with the election. covering the things we talk about and doing topical stuff. That's going to be pretty much somehow related to a lot of the stuff we talk about. And I think a lot of it had to do with, for one, I predicted the election. I was like kind of, I was very gung ho. Like I was talking about Trump, and I voted for Trump in the end after we had done some series of videos about it, and when things lined up against Hillary, and I stuck with that too. Like you said, like I've still been pretty supportive of Trump. I mean, I'm not like fanboying or like just letting him get away with anything, but overall I just kind of stuck with that notion. And I think there's part of it too. I think a lot of my fans come for that because there's not really many people that have said, oh, I voted Trump, and then kept going with that and not already like flip-flopped, or like you said, just kind of went on to talking about other stuff.
What do you think about Trump? Are you still, I mean, gung ho?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like backtracking or anything. I still proud of my vote. I think we're doing well so far. It's been a good first year, not without its bumps, and crazy stuff's been going on in between. But yeah,
I didn't vote for Trump. I literally wrote my wife's name in. But if I had to have one of the two, I would prefer it to be him. And for me, it was all about the Supreme Court. I think he's gotten a lot of hate that he doesn't deserve. I think he's gotten some that he does. And there's times it's just like, wow, I can't believe you just said that on Twitter. But for the most, I don't think he's the horrible person that we hear he is. So
no, I think a lot of the problems too, because I think this came up like a week ago on another stream, but it was about a week ago, and people were like freaking out about all these cabinet switches, and there was something to do with it. One of the cabinet guys, Tillerson, I think, was going in and out, and there's this strife, and I was asked about it, and I still feel the same way. I think there's a lot of like the microscope effect going on here, like where you said Trump is getting painted worse than he should be. He's not that bad of a guy, and I agree. And I think that shows because most of the problems and the stuff that other people are complaining about, it's like little managerial decisions that I mean that's why I didn't even make a video about it. It's not like I'm trying to like cover up or like defend Trump for firing someone or something. It's not as big an issue as like I don't know, the last couple of videos was like the trans ban in the military a month ago. And that's something I wanted to cover. And then other things that Trump did, I think he was involved in a lot in the story about the NFL kneeling, and I have my take on that. But besides that, I'll like turn away and I'll talk about politics or something else in the news. But I'm not going to like sit here and make a video about a Tillerson cabinet member, sending a bad email to the wrong person. It's like, no, that's just boring. That's not even super relevant. It just seems that way because the news puts him on this microscope,
Yeah. I'm neutral on Trump, I guess is what I would say. But I do think, I think part of your appeal, and again, this is just me judging by what I see, is that you are, even somebody like Roaming Millennial, who has come out and said she did vote for Trump, and she still defends her vote of Trump, doesn't seem like very happy with the job he's doing. And you're
there's
like
a lot
the
of
only one out there.
Yeah, I know what you mean. There's a lot of pressure out there. Like that's why I mentioned the people that had already flip-flopped, or I don't know if you call it a flip-flop or like a backtrack or whatever you call it about Trump. It's like there were a lot of people that were saying they voted for him, but then they like readily kind of like flipped on him. They're like, no, now he's not cool anymore because of this. Like they were just like ready to go back because it felt like that was needed. Everyone else is like hating on him, and why aren't you hating on him? Why don't you criticize Trump? And that's actually something I get all the time. I get that all the time. Like probably a comment on all my videos is like, why are you're a Trump fanboy? Why don't you call out Trump for this? Why don't you call out Trump for this? And my biggest answer is kind of like I said before, it's as soon as they do some fucked up shit, I'm going to call them out. Like as soon as there's like a video worthy moment, I'm gonna make that video. But I'm not just gonna call them out just for the sake of it. Like, because that's another thing I'll get, and this isn't just for Trump, but just like on the conservative side, like people will say all my videos attack liberals or all my videos are anti-democrat or anti-left. And my answer to that is similar too. It's just, okay, the left is doing the most fucked up shit right now. They're being the dummies. They're doing the SJW stuff. They're losing elections and picking horrible candidates and getting caught molesting people in Hollywood and donations and all this stuff. Like, there's all this messed up stuff on their side. If the right had people like Harvey Weinstein and Hillary Clinton, and if there was like someone in there that was all messed up, we would be calling them out. But that's not happening anymore. I mean, people try to bring up things like, oh, well, why don't you criticize the right? Like, why don't you talk about the KKK? Why don't you make a video about crazy Christians? And I'm just like, dude, have you seen the KKK in the news? Like, where is a crazy Christian video? Send it to me and I'll cover it. I just don't see it.
Real quick, I do need to clarify. Roaming did not vote for Trump. She endorsed him. She was Canadian. She couldn't vote for him. I do stand corrected on that. You're absolutely right. But
Canadian. That's another strike against her.
I love Roaming. She's a sweetie. Where the hell was I going? Oh, the idea that I hate that. I really hate when people, why don't you make a video about this? It's like, well, why don't you make a video about that? Not only is it that you don't see the crazy coming from the right as much right now. It's that I make videos about things that are important to me, and I know a lot of skeptics will tell you that they're left, they're classical liberals, or they're actual liberals, or however they want to say it. I'm not. I tend to be a conservative guy. I'm far more liberal for society. I want the government out as much as possible. But if you ask me my personal opinion on things, I'm quite conservative. I don't understand how you can be anti-SJW and liberal in today's day and age.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's kind of some gymnastics, some mental gymnastics in there, some cognitive dissonance. I'm not saying you have to, but the way when you hear some people, hate on SJW so much or talk bad about feminists, and then you're like, at the same time, you're trying to be liberal. It's like a balancing act.
Well, I think so many people are just afraid of the term conservative because for a long time it was, you're anti-gay, you're hardcore Christian. You want, hardcore Christian to the point where you don't let your kids go trick-or-treating kind of people, and it's just not what conservatives are now. If you look at even Congress, the president, these are people who have become pretty socially liberal by any stance. Nobody's out there fighting against gay marriage as a campaign platform. So
we might be considered liberals if we were in the 90s, like
we
absolutely
are
right now. I mean, that's where I felt like that back in the day, before I felt like I was a liberal and like left leaning because I believe in like the stuff that it was like before, like equality and civil rights. And if you read your history books and you're going up in school, you're like, okay, yeah, the Democrats, yeah. And then nowadays we come to the story of feminism and all the stuff that's been going on. It's like a whole different world. And that's what I was thinking too. Like if we're in the 90s, like, and there was YouTube in the 90s, I know, just trying to make that hypothetical for a second. But if that was going on, if we were in the 90s with YouTube, like we would probably be doing videos about conservatives and the religious people and the anti-gay stuff and this and that. And that it's just the times have changed, and this trend, people are recognizing it, or they just don't believe in that trend. But that's a lot of the reason. It's just a swaying of trends.
Thank you, James Coley. Sorry for blowing up your tweet this morning. Is that at me or no bullshit? Because if it was at me, I apologize. My Twitter was blown up to hell from a lot of people, so I didn't see it. I apologize. Yeah, I'm so curious about the people who insist on hanging on to the liberal label, because it does change in our country. Liberal and conservative, they flip flop, and John Kennedy would not be a '90s liberal, and he probably wouldn't be one today, but he was a pretty radical Democrat at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had another fun. I had a more fun topic, and I lost it again. I am so sorry. I'm on medicines that mess up my memory like that, so I do apologize. We'll
No
do that from
worries.
time to
No
time.
worries. No worries.
Um. Oh, aren't they releasing the JFK file soon? I hope so. I hope so. I'm
I
curious
want
to
to
see
see
what
that.
they. I want to see what they're hiding. Why? What would still be relevant today, other than a second shooter?
I heard there's a possibility that James Franco traveled back in time and assassinated him. Wait,
Oh,
the miniseries. That was the Hulu miniseries. Damn it.
yes, yes. Yeah, I just started watching. People keep telling me to watch Mindhunter, and I was trying to kill time before the stream, and I turned it on, and I never should have, because that's why I was so late getting to you. Sorry about that.
No worries. No, it's all good. I heard about that. That's like another Stephen King show.
I don't know if it is or not. It seems to be about the FBI turning to psychology for
Okay,
helping to find serial killers and stuff. It so far it's really interesting. I'm only halfway
that's
through the
cool.
first episode, so
That's cool.
I got to ask you about this one. Alt right. Um, I don't want you to alienate any of your viewers, but what's your opinion?
Alt right,
Be as
more like alt white.
yeah, you're gonna get
No,
people mad. No,
yeah, I don't know. You mean I mean I'm not like identified as alt right. I never said I was like alt right or anything. I don't know. My opinions just you mean just about the people that are all right or the ideology kind of thing.
well, you pretty much answered my question there. You said you've never identified that way.
Yeah.
I I'm kind of torn on them, because I think most people who follow channels and stuff, I think they're just genuinely motivated by what they hear, and not horrible racists like some of the leaders of the movement are. And I
Hmm.
don't care what you say, guys, some of them are. um, but
Yeah, I think the biggest problem and the reason it's touchy is it has a lot to do. It's a lot of like what I said just about Richard Spencer himself. Like, there's this whole like anti-Spencer, anti-alt-right kind of I don't know movement or belief system where they just call them all racist, white supremacist, evil. They think they want to kill anyone that's not white, kind of thing. Like they demonize them pretty hard.
mhm.
So yeah, I wouldn't say I don't think I think a lot of them I think most of them are good people. You know, it's just like conservative. It's just like a part of the, you know, being or not a part of being, but it's like a group that people can join if they're super conservative, you know, basically. But there's
Yeah,
like a more to it. I know there's more to it, and I'll admit, like that's why I wouldn't want to break it down too hard. Like I don't know all their tenets, like like the very very specifics. I mean, I got an idea from it. I've heard all about it on the news, and I'm familiar with some of Spencer's work, some of his speeches. But like, I don't know specifically how far we're talking about, but I think in general, like, yeah, there's like a lot of crazy, just like witch hunting them, like they're these white supremacist racists, and I don't buy that.
well, I've talked to, because I had a little run with them the other day, because I insulted them a little bit in my video. Um, and really the only thing I insulted them by was saying they were irrelevant. And I really do feel that way, because they have literally no political power right now. Um,
Mhm.
and I'm not insulting you guys. That's just reality. You can check. But I I do feel there are people out there who don't. I think they would even be surprised to find out what Richard Spencer believes. Because when the alt right started, when we first started hearing this term, nobody knew what the hell it was. It
Yeah.
was it was just your shit posters on Twitter to start with. Milo Yiannopoulos used to refer to himself that way until it started to take, a bent to the Richard Spencer side. And then he's like, no, fuck it, count me out. But there's still people that they were yelled. Some people had some really horrible things to say, which I don't mind. You're allowed your opinion. But it's very much to me the same as the whole liberal conservative thing. The movement has changed, and I think a lot of people are hanging on to it, partially because of what you said, because it is so demonized, and they become very defensive of it.
Mm-hmm.
What does, in their defense, sort of, I do find it funny that the news has so demonized them as racist, and partially for good reason, but they still can't figure out that affirmative action is racist.
It's funny now, actually. Now that you put it like that, it's like nowadays I don't believe who the news says that's racist. It's like I believe that they're not racist. It's like I want to. Whenever they start calling someone racist, I gotta like do homework and figure out what this guy, why he pissed off the media or whatever it may be. Like why they're hating. Like when they call Trump racist, it's like, okay, let's figure out what he really said. Let's do a little homework. Okay, that's the truth. Or this all right thing, they're calling them all racist. It's like, okay, wait, maybe this group's onto something.
Yeah, and I don't go out of my way to piss off anybody except for hardcore SJWs because they deserve it. I do have problems with some of the tenets of the alt-right, the more hardcore race realist ethno-state crap.
Mm-hmm.
As far as race realism goes, if you're looking at race and you're saying, okay, blacks aren't as smart as whites, we need to make sure we get them the best education possible because that's the only way they're going to succeed, I'm on board. If it's blacks have the lowest IQ, so we need to kick them out of the country, I do have an issue with that. One of the things, and I want to get your opinion on this. One of the things that was said to me repeatedly was that we can't just allow in a bunch of people who they went with low IQs, but the way I look at it for like immigration is we shouldn't be just letting in anybody who doesn't share our values. I don't care what fucking color they are. If they share Western values, we have space, yeah, let them in. Sure. How do you feel about immigration?
Yeah, I believe in restricted, regulated immigration. Pretty much, if we just follow the rules we have now, we'd be in much better shape. I think the big problem is coming out of the Obama administration, sanctuary cities everywhere, and basically just looking the other way, not enforcing the rules that we have. And from there, I mean, I don't know. I would definitely wouldn't go as far as to say like let's like wrangle in the right IQs or something like that. Like I wouldn't. I don't know about like IQ based immigration. I think as far as things now, I just would want it regulated and maybe start trying to kick out illegals, people that are, especially the ones that are criminal or not helping the cities and stuff like that, crowding and whatnot. But I think the other thing is, and with the ethno state question, like it's just I'm not sure if people are like taking it the right way. I mean, I'm not like proposing an ethno state, but the way people talk about it, it's like not you, because I mean I get what you're saying, and I know that's part of it for some of the most extreme people on the alt-right. Like there's this idea of the ethno state, but whenever I hear the normies or like the people online that are freaking out about alt-right and they bring up ethno state, they act like, oh, they're gonna like they act like they want to just like kill anyone that's not white, like they act like it's like gonna be like a Nazi concentration camp or Japanese internment kind of thing, and that's where they go right away. I've actually run into this myself like a number of times, because you're not like the first person to think or to ask me all right questions and talk about these things, and a lot of it came up with the Richard Spencer video from last week. So it was like I legit had someone in messaging me about that, and I was just like, dude, do you think Richard Spencer wants to kill everyone in America that's not white? Like it almost got that far, and I was just like, dude, that's ridiculous. Like I don't do people really believe that? I'm not sure what everyone thinks, but it's like it's crazy that they want to take it that far. It's kind of like straw man alt-righters.
Real quick, James Coley, thank you so much. We should definitely let in low IQ people. Comedy would die otherwise. Well, we have our homegrown SJWs too, so um, I don't know how sincere Richard Spencer is, to be honest with you. I think he is a good showman who's saying, I don't want to say he doesn't believe what he says, but he's definitely selling the parts he thinks will do better. My thing with the ethno state, I have no problem with an ethno state because all that means is a state that's, bound together by ethnicity, which America is an ethnicity. Americans, we're one ethnicity. And I do believe like keeping out, I'll say it, Muslims. I have no, Islam does not go with Western civilization. It just doesn't. And it never will until it has a major reformation, which makes it something it's not right now. So I have no problem with even a Muslim ban. But
sure,
yeah, I do have.
I think that the ethno state question, or just the word itself too, the ideas around it, they have a lot of that stigma and that just like the same way they try to frame up all the alt-right as racist. It's like ethno states are automatically racist too. And unless you look into it, I mean, like you said, there are ethno states. I mean, you just got to ask the person, like, are you okay with Israel? Are you okay with Japan or South Korea or, loads and loads of other ones throughout history? I mean, let's be real. America was an ethno state until like almost 1900. It was virtually only for white people until immigration changed like 100 years later. So we were an ethno state for a long time, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's the thing. It's like now they want to bring that up and slam that on people like, oh, you believe in an ethno state? And I don't. Like, believe me, I don't. I moved and live in Los Angeles, like the most diverse place in the country. Like if I want an ethno state, I wouldn't even be in California, like
right.
It's like that's not my goal at all, but I understand these ideas a little differently and just kind of like explain. I mean, it's like, are you against Israel? Like Israel is like the most like big ethno state, and it's all like everyone's pro-Israel, and America's been supporting them forever.
Well, again, for me, it's about values, and if you look at Israel, Israel is for the Jews, and yeah, there's not a lot of black Jews, but black Jews would be allowed in Israel. It's about the values, the ideology that people have. Where I get into issues with the alt-right is the race realist IQ stuff mixed with ethno state, because then we're talking white state. And yeah, I understand how America was for a long time. But it doesn't have to be that way. Anybody can have Western values, and that's what's important to me, is that people believe in free speech, right to bear arms, the right to challenge your, excuse me, I am so sorry. The right to challenge your leaders openly, honestly. That's what it is about to me. And far more, this is why people ask me, why don't you go after the alt-right? And I didn't even really want to make my video, except for I'm a big fan of Buddha, and I wanted to give him my opinion in an open public forum. And I probably should have just left it at that, because I don't care. I don't. To me, far more important right now are the SJWs. That is what is shaping our country. That is what is shaping our colleges.
Yeah.
And that is the biggest threat we face right now. Yeah, we're not in the same boat as Europe is, where they have the mass migration of Muslims. That's not something we are dealing with yet. What we are dealing with is people within our own fucking country who don't believe in our fucking values.
Yeah, it's confusing, and it's got a lot of conflict, and I think to add on to the SJW part, like, yeah, I do think that's the bigger problem, and that's why I make a lot of videos about them too, and you do, and I think another part of that too is like, okay, this is also the problem that's still getting thrown in our faces every day. Like, it's still getting presented as good ideas. It's still getting promoted by YouTube and tweeted about. with all their various feminist darlings, and they put up trans videos every other day. Like it's all that rhetoric, all that SJW stuff, and that's why we still have to attack it, because it's still getting put up. I mean, I know some people might think we're beating a dead horse, or they've like seen enough anti-feminist videos. But if they keep putting them out there and they keep getting trending and getting promoted, like we got to keep batting them down.
We do. You did the video on Lactatia, and that to me is the epitome of why we need to keep going after SJWs. You have this young child that is being celebrated for being a transvestite.
Super messed up, dude.
That's asinine. And then you have the ones like, God, what the hell's her name? Chat, you'll have to help me out. He has decided he's a she, but he's a teenager and started going on the puberty blockers. And now he wants to have sex change operation. And because they block puberty, he doesn't have enough penis to turn into that fake little vagina.
I heard about that. I don't know the name either. I heard about that story, and I've heard about that problem with transitioning and the medications and stuff. That's a known issue. Like that's messed up. It sucks.
Why the fuck it's Jazz something. Thank you, chat. Why the fuck would you let a child take hormone blockers during puberty? I mean, it's a formative time. It's not just a matter of, oh, I feel like a girl. This is when your body completely changes and grows into what it's going to fucking be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is like bringing up these two examples. It's like a parenting problem, like these parents aren't, Mormons. They're not like not like Christian. They're not even conservative. Obviously, like Lactatia, her mom is obvious like feminist. She's like disgusting. She's huge. Probably single mom. Like it's coming from these bad ideas, and that's actually why we were talking about the SJW, anti-SJW. That's why I like to attack and go against full-blown against the liberal left-wing agenda, because it's not enough to just attack feminists and their certain ideas and then still say you're a liberal on the other hand, because you're not really tackling the full bigger problem. Like there's a whole ideology that's more than just feminist and pro-trans propaganda stuff like that. Like I feel like there's a lot to say to just kind of have to go after the whole left wing at this point.
Oh, yeah, I would agree with you. People get so mad when I use the term liberal or left, and they're like, I'm liberal. If that's how you're identifying, then that's your fault. We all know what we're talking about. My last video was on a professor from UConn who she's a social worker professor. She teaches social work, and she's upset because they took a poll of master's program social work students, and 94% of them are women, and overwhelmingly they said women aren't oppressed. Women being oppressed isn't a problem. And so she's decided they need, of course, intersectionality in the program. And this is the kind of stuff that bothers me. As much as we see it in just everyday life and in politics, our educators of higher learning, they are more worried about making sure people feel oppressed than they are about actually teaching them anything. And these are tomorrow's leaders, for fuck's sake.
Oh yeah, and I'm getting into that the video I've been working on today. It's about this the Me Too trend, the hashtag Me Too. And I think you actually saw one of my tweets about it. You replied, so you know what I'm talking about. Like it's like this in the college situation, and this Me Too has become that situation too, because these people like want to be victims. They want it so bad, and once the Me Too goes around for a week and they see all these stories, girls start falling for it too, and they start either making stuff up or just feeling bad that they're not victims. It's weird.
Weren't you the one who posted the tweet from the chick who was upset because she hadn't been raped?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one that you replied to. That was bitch. Yeah, that was crazy, dude. And that's why I thought of it again, because it's just like you're saying, it's this victimhood, and then when they don't have it, it's like she feels bad she never got raped. Like what?
Yeah. I'm so lucky. Like, no, actually you're in the majority. Most women aren't. Most women are not raped. That's just fact. um, we're gonna take audience questions if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Audience, this is your time. If you have questions for me or no bullshit, now would be the time to ask. I'm not going to ask everything. I'm not going to lie to you. I'll ask what I see. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Now there's some stream lore here. I have to ask everybody who comes on a stream with me. So I apologize in advance for this question.
Okay.
Is cereal soup?
Is cereal soup? I guess it could be considered a breakfast soup, but
Yes. Thank you.
I never put it that way myself. Soup does tend to be water based, but I mean, is it milk water? I don't know.
there are milky soups out there. Just throwing that out there.
Okay.
Oh, we just triggered Scribe.
Fuck cereal soup.
The other question that everybody gets asked on our streams is, how do you feel about tongue buttering turtle caves?
Sounds naughty. I'm in.
Okay, it's a euphemism that Scribe came up with for licking buttholes. So
that was my guess. Yeah, that was my guess.
Good. So now that we've got the two that everybody has to get out of the way, oh, there's a good question. Are you going to debate Destiny or Vegan Gains again?
Oh no, probably not. No, I had my fun with them. We had our days. We have our memories. You guys can look those up, but I don't plan to. I mean, I don't know if something came up, but I don't think those two have very much more to say than that, other than that crap that we went through, the vegan stuff and the Destiny was trying to defend incest.
I still haven't caught that stream, but I did see your one with Vegan Gains. You went before I did, and it was so funny watching him get frustrated with you.
Oh yeah, that's that. I tend to do that. In those situations, in those kind of debate situations, which is like not something I would ever like go and set up like out of my way. But those two guys are actually very similar if you think about it. In a lot of ways, but the one I'm thinking about now is they like to debate and like pretend that they're like these like smart guys doing these kind of like formal point for point debates, like talking about all these debate like of no what is it no that's a fallacy, logical fallacy,
their favorite
ad hominem.
My favorite Vegan Gains moment ever was when he was debating Bearing. And he actually said, "That's a fallacy." I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, dude, they could turn anything into a fallacy, and it's funny because they act like they're these smart guys, and they don't like. Okay, so we set up this stream, and you're just like, hey, you want to come and talk? Like, let's do a live stream. They come at people hard, and they're like, debate me, come debate me this Saturday. No, but I actually, truth be told, I did that on purpose. That I jumped on with Destiny a few times randomly, just to fuck around. But with Vegan Gains, I tried to set it up as like a WCW versus NWO event, and I was like hyping it up, like. But I did that to kind of razz him, because that's how he does his stuff. He tries to hype it up and act like he's a badass, but he's not.
My wife actually came over during ours and told me I needed to calm down. I'm like, no, I'm having fun right now, because he is so easy to fuck with. And
oh yeah, and he gets so mad. Like I didn't even have to like. I was just super chill. Like I was chilling all those debates like I am now. But then the stuff I would say, he would just be like, he just got so heated so quick, and he just like can't take it. And
I did to him what I've seen him do to everyone else. When he would start to talk or to cut me off, no. I did my Vegan Gains impression during that stream, and I had so much fun doing it. Real quick, no bullshit. Do you like gaming channels?
Yeah. I like gaming myself. I watch a lot of video game videos and different stuff. I watch, let's see, outside Xbox. I watch Proto Mario. He has some like theory videos. I was watching one of his today. A lot of stuff. I can't think of all of them right now, but yeah, I love
them. Sorry, chat jumped on me. I have to scroll back up here.
Cool.
Good God, you guys are asking a lot of stuff. Thank you so much. I know the one question was, what are you going to be for Halloween?
That's a good question, actually. I've been like so busy with other stuff. I haven't decided on a costume. I don't know yet, but my first idea is Kenny fucking Powers. You're fucking out, I'm fucking in.
Let's see what else we have here. Oh, there we go. Out of curiosity, has Riley ever responded to your videos? Never to one of mine.
I don't think so. Me either. No, I don't. I've never had any kind of comment or reply that I remember. I gave up on that guy though. I mean, I know he still does stupid videos every week, but I just did like I think I reviewed him like once or twice a few months back before the summer, and then I just got over it. I was like, oh my god, because he's just so like borderline slow.
If you don't follow him on Twitter, he recently came out and said he's not actually a male to female trans because he's always been female, even though he used to think he was male. The dude's insane. I do like responding to his videos. One, people love those videos, but more importantly, about once a month, maybe once every 2 months, I'll go check in on Riley because Riley is he's basically the mouthpiece for the SJWs. If they're talking about it, he's going to make a video on it, and it's a good way without having to go track down a whole ton of shit to see what's going on.
Yeah, he hits those pretty generic almost talking points for his side. I mean, they change, but he always just kind of has that same level. He's basically like you said, a spokesman, because he always talks about each one, even though you could tell he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about half the time. Like you could tell he's scripted, and that's fine. Scripts are good, but like you could just tell. I mean, he's got nothing, man. He's not that smart.
He did a video on he's the epitome of finding things that support your view. He did a video on misgendering, purposefully misgendering being violence. And in order to justify calling it violence, he went to, was it the UN? I think it's the UN. Maybe it might have been the World Health Organization, but I think it was the UN and their definition on violence. And he either did it on purpose or he's just that dumb, missed where they still say violence is what we all know violence is. But he saw the part that had backed him up, and it made him look as dumb as shit. No bullshit. What's your favorite holiday?
I'm always been a Christmas guy. I love Christmas. I always go home for Christmas. Actually, my birthday is the day before, so it's kind of like a twofer for me. Yeah, we always do something cool. So yeah, Christmas is good.
James Coley says, my most offensive costume idea. Mine is blackface overweight Obama. If you do that, I'd like to see it.
That's good.
Picture.
Muhammad. A combination of Obama and Muhammad.
Nice. Circuit Zero wants to know if I'm going to make a Grand Monkey Your Life Makes Me Sad shirt. That's how I finish all my videos, and I got my granddaughter to say it. And cool. Yeah, I'll probably make one of those. We'll see. There's so many shirts I should be making. No bullshit. Who are your favorite YouTubers?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. I watch a lot of channels. Like I was saying, I had some video game ones, and I have some of the political news style stuff. A lot of the ones that influenced me though were like early on. It was like Bearing and Undoomed, and Sargon is good. And I watch a lot of Atheism is Unstoppable, and yeah, a lot more though. I do watch a lot of YouTube. I have a long list of subs, but somewhere around there, those are some of my favorite guys.
Wretched Child asks, no bullshit. As a detractor of yours, I want to know why you think the way you do. SJWs are a detriment to society, but I'm really wondering why the entire left makes you tick as a result.
So they're a detractor from me?
That's what they said, yes.
Okay. So I guess they're not a fan.
Not a fan.
Let's see. So why lump in the SJWs with the left is kind of the question?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting from it. Why the whole left?
I mean, it's not the whole left, really. I guess I just comment on the bad parts to the left. I'm sure there are good Democrats out there. I mean, there's definitely liberals out there that I don't hate. I named some of those YouTubers are liberals, and Sargon always says he's classical liberal. So it just depends on the person as far as that stuff. I think it may come across that way because I'm constantly responding to the crazier, stupider left wing people. But because it's like I'm not going to respond or like make a video where it talks about why I like such and such politician. I'm usually kind of waiting for them to fuck up.
I will go further than you. When the Democrats stop supporting this stupid shit, I'll stop calling them all out.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that I believe have different ideas than me, and I think they do it in good faith. I think they genuinely believe that what they're saying is for the best. And then there's those that I think haven't given it a fucking thought, and those are the people who scare me more than anyone else because they're dumb and dangerous. They're pushing ideas just because. I mean, look at the fucking Audi wage gap commercial that was in the Super Bowl this last year. How the fuck are we still having wage gap arguments when we all know what the fuck it means? You have to be dumb to be part of a company and come out and say, we think the wage gap needs to go away, and not be able to answer as soon as somebody goes, so you pay your women less? Mm-hmm. They should have had an answer immediately, but they didn't because they don't even fucking think.
Yeah, no, I agree with that too. Like you said, there's still unification on all, like almost all of the left is still gonna like say they're feminist, and they're all gonna like support, push all that trans stuff or retweet this person or whatever. Like it's like there's no kind of like abolishment or no one, hardly anyone talks down or talk shit about Black Lives Matter when they should be. That kind of stuff mm-hmm. is why, you're still going to go after the whole side. I mean, Black Lives Matter went to the White House, like Obama is supported all of those same talking points. Like if Obama was, or had, done something that could separate him from the rest of the left in his time, that could have been a good thing, but he didn't. He didn't call out Muslims. He supported Black Lives Matter and other people in there. Like things like that is like the stuff we're talking about. We need to see some separation if you want us to separate them in our talking.
And I'll go even further on Obama too, because what Obama did, Obama himself set back race relations so far. Mm-hmm. I understand his supporters coming out and going, oh, if you don't agree with him, that's racist. What he should have done at that moment is gone, you know what, guys? No, it is okay it is perfectly possible to disagree with me and not be racist. And he didn't. He kept his fucking mouth shut for 8 years and let that shit just hang out there.
Yeah, totally.
As the president, he could have been like, no, guys, no, just no.
And that's what I think. I think that's why I think I like the character of Trump more. Like Trump is the kind of guy that would say that. He would be like, if he was in that same kind of situation, he'd be like, no, everyone that doesn't like me isn't a racist, isn't evil. He's never said stuff like that himself. Like he would never say, everyone that voted, every Democrat is terrible. Like he gets the nuances and the stuff we're talking about.
I want to talk about this question, and guys, I'm sorry if I've missed your questions. I'm doing my best here. We've had a lot of good ones. True Malma asks, do you guys think we'd be in this much trouble if idiots never gave women the right to vote? We talked about this briefly before the stream, and I didn't get no bullshit's opinion, but I gave him mine, and this is going to get me in trouble. No, I don't think we would. There's a problem with women, and it's not a bad thing with women.
There's lots of problems with women, believe me.
There's a lot of problems with women. Women are more emotional than men, and if you don't believe that, then you're just not paying attention. And part of the problem with that is when you're coming down and you're trying to have, let's take Lactatia for a fucking example. If a kid wants to dress up once in a while as a girl while you're at home, fine, no big deal. When that same child wants to make that their whole personality, you tell them no. No. Stop.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
And
and I said something like that about Lactatia when I covered it. I said, you know, if Lactatia had a good father, that none of this shit would
oh yeah,
happen,
you did.
and it certainly wouldn't have been on TV.
But the example we used before the stream was Shoe on Head. Shoe on Head
Hmm.
had her video about trans trenders where she actually said that feelings should be enough. And I don't think Shu is a bad person. I think Shu is a woman. She doesn't want, the reason she said that is because she has friends who are trans trenders.
Of
And
course,
she
I think
doesn't
she's
feel,
friends with every trans person on the continent. She seems to defend them left and right, like every chance she gets. So,
but I don't think she does it because she doesn't want to hurt their feelings. And I've seen that from my wife and I. The arguments we get into politically are almost always over me not being feeling enough. And
mhm.
it's like, well, sometimes feelings don't matter. It's you have to have facts. That's what's important.
Yeah, I agree. I
So
agree. I think it's a lot to do uh, with, you know, thinking things through logically, like a man, or like, you know, more of a masculine trait, thinking things through like
mhm.
detail oriented. What are the specifics? How much is this going to cost me? How is voting this way going to affect my taxes or
Well,
my bottom line or my job? Like those are kind of like the more that side, and then girls are more worried about, you know, when am I going to get my nails done? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's too far. That's too far. But
oh, you
no,
could
it's
just
like
open it.
you know what I mean. It's like more like how is it going to make
Well,
them feel? How would I feel if this law passed and these people could do this, or how is it going to make me feel? That kind of stuff.
I want to. This is something for you ladies, though. It's not just your fault. It's men's fault too for bending over backwards instead of telling you and arguing with you about this shit. You got your male feminists. You got your liberal Democrats, the guys who just, yeah, we can't argue with women because, you know, that makes you sexist. No, fuck you. Facts matter. And if you can't have an intelligent conversation, then you shouldn't be in the argument to begin with. And what has been done with women is they have been infantilized so much that you're not even allowed to fucking disagree with them.
Hmm.
And that's fucking retarded. Women, there are smart women out there, a lot of smart women. Um, my wife is no dummy. She's a sweetheart. Is where her failing is because she you're too nice. Um, but that's the problem is with it's with women wanting to be nice because I don't think I really don't think it's malevolent. I don't think they're doing it out of malicious intent. It's literally out of being too kind most of the time, and there is such a thing as too kind. You sometimes have to stand up and go, no, that's stupid, and that's where guys have failed.
Yeah, and
So
I think the truth is, end of the day, we need each other. You know,
yeah,
like there's a yin and yang here. Like we're talking about strengths and weaknesses on both sides. We're not just trying to like dog on women. It's just there's certain strengths on this side, and then there's certain strengths on the other for guys and girls. And I think it's a good combination, and that's why, you know, the nuclear family has worked so well for so many families and people and groups and generations. It's like you need a mother and a father, and when you don't, when you have a runaway single mom that's turns her kid into a transvestite and parades them around TV for all of Canada to see. I know there's only like a couple thousand people there, but you know, most of Canada, a lot, so it's still a lot of people. It's still Canada is important. Believe it's that they're relevant, guys. Okay, I'm not sure if I could put it. I'm not sure if I could place it on a map, but it's relevant.
oh my god, yeah, you hit it perfectly with the yin and yang. That's what should happen, and uh, you know, as much as no, I don't think this would have happened if women got the right to vote. I blame men more than I blame women for it. I really do
Yeah, we
because
let them vote. What were we thinking?
you fucker.
What were we thinking? We were thinking with our dicks. We were thinking with our
uh,
dicks.
no, women voting wouldn't be a problem if men would be fucking honest with women. Because let's be honest, women are the majority voters, and they have been for a while. So I'm saying, guys, if you don't like how the elections are turning out, you need to get your women in order.
Yeah, come on, Democrats. Why didn't you guys pick someone else in your primaries besides Hillary? Why would you guys all vote for Hillary? Oh, wait a second.
How the fuck did Hillary get the nomination? Oh God.
Because she cheated, bro. That's what I'm saying. She cheated.
Not just cheated, because in fairness, she was going to beat Bernie anyway. But the field for the Democrats was so pathetic. Martin O'Malley, who is so milquetoast it's retarded, he's probably Canadian if they check. And who's the other guy? There was another older guy besides Bernie. Fuck, I can't remember his name. But there was nobody really running against her because it was just like, yeah, give her her turn.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the woman who's since come out and gone, yeah, we elected a sexual assaulter. Like, yeah, your husband, dumbass.
Which
guys,
one?
We're gonna go for a few more minutes. I'm sorry, I am in so much pain. I laid my bathroom floor today. For those of you who follow me on a normal basis, we're getting the bathroom done, but I'm dying from it. So if you have more questions, now is the time to get them in. We've repeatedly been told to check out somebody. Let me get this message up here. Watch Undertaker Freak 1127 and a dose of Buckley's rants on veganism to hear more excellent points. Okay.
I heard of those guys. I haven't watched those YouTubes in forever. That's like early 2010s YouTube.
What else do we have here, guys? I know I missed a lot of questions, and I'm so sorry about that, guys. It's hard to watch the chat and talk, and
it is.
Oh, Make Europe Strong Again has asked us a few times. Which Washington politician do you think is the dumbest?
The dumbest politician?
Lindsey Graham.
Okay, that's pretty good. I was gonna say Rick Scott because of what he did last week. He's not in Washington though.
Mm. But there's a lot of good ones to choose from. I mean, you got Maxine Waters, who's a fucking moron. Barbara Boxer's an idiot. Nancy Pelosi, I am convinced she's so dumb because they reanimated Abe Lincoln, and if you look at her, you will see it. Just put a little beard on her.
What about Chuck Schumer's pretty bad too. I don't think he's dumb. I think he's smart, but he's also related to Amy Schumer, so kind of evens out.
Chucky is dumb when it comes to policy, but he is a very smart politician.
Mm-hmm.
So I give him credit for that, because that's almost as important as being good on policy if you're in Washington.
Yeah, you got to get elected.
No bullshit. Yeah, exactly. Do you think Trump will get 2 terms?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't see any. There's only like one possible person that could run against him that I can think of. I mean, I don't. Yeah, he's good. He's been doing good so far, unless he like really blows it somehow in the next 3 years. I think so. He'll win.
I'm curious if he's even going to run.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not?
I don't know that he'd want to. I don't believe the theories that people have out there that he never thought he'd really win. I think he really did believe that, but I don't necessarily think he actually wanted to be president.
He was the hero. He's the hero that Gotham needed.
Yes, yeah.
But he didn't want it.
It's not like running a business, and politicians are different than businessmen. And especially once he got in there and sees it's not just making a deal with somebody. It is glad handing and playing the press. And there's just so much more to it that I don't think he doesn't seem to enjoy it. He likes his big moments, but the day-to-day stuff seems to bore the fuck out of him.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, he's an old guy too. I don't think he's too old, but I don't think he could do 3 or 4 terms if that was allowable. I think he's pushing it, especially, but luckily he's in good shape. He seems, all signs show he's in great shape actually for being that old, but not He's like, what is he, 74 or something? I forget.
Yeah, 70 something. I know that.
So not the oldest guy in the world, but I could see that being a factor. But I think he'll do it. I think he'll do a second term. Um, I think he's a guy. He might not like it, like you're saying, and it is a hard job. But I think he'll do it. And if we still need him, he'll do it. And I think he's the kind of guy who wants a legacy too. He puts his name in gold on buildings all over the country and all over the world. So I think if anything, like he's going to want those whole 8 years to kind of like really have that presidential legacy.
Jack Cochran, you asked a real question. I am so disappointed in you. The Jack Cochran wants to know your thoughts on North Korea. And the reason I'm disappointed in him, he asked the best smart-ass questions. He really, really does.
Good joker. North Korea, it's pretty it's messed up place. Obviously, I think it sucks that it's gone so downhill. All reports show it's sucks, and the president or the dictator is just ruling it like an asshole. So as far as the threat angle, I'm not super worried about it. I am in California, and there are rumors that they have missiles that could reach here, but I think they'll be shot down before they get past Hawaii. In my opinion, I don't think they could hit Hawaii, but and there's just the fact that they would be totally ousted right away, probably within a day if they tried anything on us or anyone. So yeah, that's my thoughts. I think it's terrible that the people have to live under that dictator for sure. That's the worst part.
I see with North Korea, with Kim Jong-un, the way he was raised, I worry that he doesn't understand that he's not a god.
Possible.
That's what worries me. If I thought his dad would saber rattle and cause a bunch of shit to get attention, but he never really provoked anything. He would just he would threaten maybe, but he knew his place. He knew that he was not going to take on America and win. I am just not sure his son knows that. And
yeah, it's possible. I'm not sure what he's thinking. Yeah, he's been raised in that culture, from birth, and it's another generation of these dictators that have been going on for like 100 years now or something.
Backscan says no bullshit. If they even try to hit the U.S., there'll be radioactive glass in minutes. Yeah, we would totally fuck them up, but the problem is whether or not they could get off a missile first and where it would land.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, the moment they fired one that we thought was going to hit us or one of our allies, yeah, we would fuck them up. Oh my God, X Fireball. No bullshit. KFC or Popeyes?
Ooh, now we're talking food. I actually have both close by, and I also have a Church's Chicken. And my favorite, have you had that one?
Yeah, not since I lived down south, but yeah.
No, they're good. Yeah, they're good. But my favorite one, that's tough. That's really tough. This is probably the hardest question of the day. But KFC, I'll go with KFC. Classic KFC guy. That's still my go-to. One of these days, we just got the new one. I kept seeing it on Twitter. You might have saw it on Twitter, like the ad, because they have KFC like Gold and Nebraska, or it's like Georgia Gold flavor, and then there's like a Nashville Hot. And I promise this isn't sponsored. I'm not getting paid for this plug. I just really like chicken, and it's like a really good seasoning. And we actually just went there like over the weekend. So I just went there. It's funny that you ask.
For the record, guys, that I'm 2 for 2 tonight. I just want that noted. Also, we had KFC for dinner.
Nice.
Mash, what question? I'm sorry I missed it. Guys, we're going to do 6 more minutes. So if you have questions that I haven't got to, please ask them again, because chat is jumping all over on me.
It's blowing up in here. 150 people. What's up?
Yeah, they're active tonight.
Cool.
No bullshit. Who would you like to stream with? Who would you hate to stream with?
Okay. Let's see. I'd like to stream with Superwoman.
Oh, good one.
And I would hate to stream with SourceFed. Anyone that used to be on SourceFed.
Oh, another good answer. Yeah.
I'm playing though. I like that show, but I don't know. Superwoman came in my head. I thought that'd be funny.
I think that would be a good one to have. I would actually really like to stream with Riley Dennis if I thought he would stay. Just because I think it could be a very interesting conversation.
Yeah, I wish someone like that would open up, and just kind of hear some stuff on our side, and it's try to stop all that like SJW pushing stuff. I mean, Riley Dennis is deep in it. That's all he does. But Superwoman just kind of like drops it in once in a while, talks about being a feminist, and then 90% of her stuff is like comedy and whatnot. But I think that'd be funny. I don't really have a particular interest in her. I don't watch her, but it's just a random idea.
Just after that one video she did, yeah, I think that would be great. Mash, yes, I did hear that Blonde in the Belly of the Beast is closing down her channel to go have little babies. No bullshit. Who would you like to debate?
Well, for the record, I'm not really a big fan of debates. I've done a few, but I just think, let me see, what's a good topic. I'd like to debate, like Riley would be good, but I think it could do better. Maybe like Cenk Uygur on the Young Turks.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about Muslims with Cenk.
I actually think he's underrated intelligence-wise. He makes himself dumb. He knows some facts and figures, but he goes out of his way to misinterpret them. So yeah, he would be fun to debate. Mickey Strong again wants to know which is your favorite girl that you put in your videos.
Yeah, so good question. Now we're talking about girls. Now we're talking. All right, here we go.
If you guys don't watch No Bullshit, go watch his videos if for nothing else than the women in the videos.
Yeah, just watch. Awesome. You don't even need the sound. Don't listen to me.
Just turn it off.
My opinions are terrible. No, I actually the one I think of now. I've been a fan of her for a while. Is ASMR Darling. She's does ASMR obviously, and she does that on her channel. It's a fun channel though. I don't actually watch ASMR in general, but I've used her in the background a few times because obviously she's very attractive, very nice. She seems fun in her videos too, so I like the personality.
We're gonna do a couple quick ones real quick. Thoughts on the U.S. not making it to the Soccer World Cup? We're the U.S. That should be expected.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it. I actually didn't even know it was going on.
How do you feel about your name getting shortened to Knobs?
I think it's funny. Yeah, I noticed that. Like, I just sometimes I put no BS, and then I'll put, and then when you write that out, I had a shirt. I went to make a shirt that said no BS, and then it just like says knobs, and people are like knobs. It's like people call it in Britain. They call their penis a knob or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I thought that I was like, okay, great. Now it's funny.
This is actually probably going to be our last question, guys, because I feel this is a great one to finish on. Critical Condition would like to know your opinion of Hi, I Think I'm Real.
Who?
There you go.
Who's that?
Hi, I Think I'm Real?
Yeah. Like, is that a book or something?
He's a YouTube creator. He's made a video about you. You argued with him on Twitter.
You have to be more specific than that.
He's got long hair on one side of his head.
Okay.
Talks in a very mellow, monotone voice. Okay, there's your answer, Critical Condition. He doesn't think about him at all.
Yeah, maybe I ran into him. I talk shit about a lot of people on Twitter, so I don't know specifically, but I don't know what was the video about.
He did a response video to your Muslim video, Muslim ban, not Muslim ban, in the military.
Trans ban.
Yes.
Trans ban.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, as far as that topic, I think I still stand behind my video. I think there's a lot of good points, and If to get in the trans topics, you know, it's like a very small percentage of the country that they're excluding with the trans ban. So I don't think it's something, you know, we should make a national tragedy about. There's plenty of other groups that are excluded for lesser things like depression or just flat-footedness, this or that, like much higher percentages we could be talking about. So I think there's strong argument to say it's not worth the risk.
And guys, I just want to point this out because I am friends with High. I think I'm real. I think he's wrong now and then, like I do with pretty much all of my friends. But even at my size, and I am a tenth, not even a tenth of the size of No Bullshit, I cannot keep track of everybody that I talk to or that talks to me. So
yeah, no, I wasn't. I was trying to think. Like
it's
I
not
said,
necessarily a slight.
there's like a ton of not a crazy amount, but lately there's been a lot of response videos about stuff I've commented on and different things that might have mixed up. And I've also like talked shit on a lot of people on Twitter. So I've had like multiple people block me and whatnot. And I blocked a bunch of people myself that just were trolls and annoying. So it's just something.
All right. And with that, we're going to end this one. Chat, thank you guys so much for coming, hanging out, asking questions, and being really cool like you always are. No bullshit, dude. I am so happy we finally got to talk in person. We've only ever typed to each other before. And I don't know about you, but I enjoyed this, and I'd love to do it again sometime.
Yeah, me too, man. This is great. It's good to have a talk and hammer out some questions. The audience is great. I really appreciate what you guys asked and watching and everything. And 150 people, that's cool. Very cool.
Yeah, it is. And on that, we're going to end it, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.